So we have pretty much done all of the easy factoring, okay? So when you just have like x squared plus whatever x plus a number, okay? That was the easy factoring. Same with difference of squares. That's pretty easy factoring, okay? This is the hard factoring, all right? Slightly harder. So really, it's kind of crazy that they don't teach you this earlier in the book. This is actually lesson 109. Which is ridiculous that we don't practice this almost all year because this is super important, all right? You are still factoring in calculus if you're still, and you still want to know how to factor, all right? So we'll probably replace one problem every day or every other day so we keep practicing the harder factoring, all right? So the harder factoring looks like this. Okay, and the difference is, and I would take notes, you guys, I would go ahead and write this down. The difference is that there is a number besides 1 in front of x squared. When there's no number in front, you can go straight to your 2 parentheses and write the answer down, right? Okay, when there's a number in front of x, we do what's called AC method factoring. All right, so AC, because really we usually write this as ax squared plus bx plus c. All right, that's how we like label a generic quadratic formula. These are quadratics, all right? So I'm going to multiply the first thing times the last thing. So we actually need 2 numbers that multiply to be positive 12 because that is 6 times 2. And then we need 2 numbers that add to be the middle number just like before. All right, so instead of just multiplies to the last number, it's multiplies to the first times the last, and then adds to the middle number. Some of you guys don't have notes out, and that scares me like a lot, so I would write this down somewhere. All right, what 2 numbers multiply to positive 12 and add to negative 7? Eli.
-4, -2.
Good. So 3 times 4, and they both have to be negative to multiply to a positive 12 and add to a negative 7. Okay, this next step, you will write as 4 terms instead of 3. So notice I have 3 terms. We are going to rewrite the 6x squared. And then instead of 7x, we're going to replace 7x with our factors. So I'm going to rewrite 7x as minus 3x minus 4x, and then plus 2. Yes. Do it like this. Yeah. Okay. So notice negative 7x is equal to this. Okay. So I'm not changing the value of the polynomial. And then I rewrote the 2 and I rewrote this. So your middle term gets replaced with your factors. Okay. Now we do what's called factor by grouping. And by the way, you can put these in either order and you're going to get the right answer. Okay. So it doesn't matter what order. So I look at the first 2 terms and I say to myself, self, what is the GCF of the first 2 terms? 3 and x. Good. If I take a 3x out of 6x squared, so it's like you're dividing by 3x, what is that? Hold on. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And these exponents subtract, or you took 1x out, so there's 1 left, okay? Now, if you took a 3x out, it's like you're dividing by 3x. What is left here? 1. Good job. Now we're going to do the next 2 terms, all right? These 2 terms right here. If the third term is negative, you take out a negative. So when I say third term, this is the first term, second term, third term, fourth term. If this is a negative number, take a negative out. Okay, what's the GCF though of these 2? So I'm going to take out a negative 2. Okay, so if I take out a negative 2, it's like I'm dividing by negative 2. What goes here? And if I divide by negative 2 here, what goes here? All right, guess what happened? Those are the same z's. Okay, that second parentheses, if those aren't the same, you messed up. Okay, they should matchy-match or you did something wrong. All right, now the first things that you took out, so the 3x and the minus 2, those go together to make your first set of parentheses, and the 2x minus 1 is your second set of parentheses. You could get the other order though, and it's still right, because you can multiply in either order, okay? All right, we're only going to do 3 of these, so let's try another one. 3x squared minus 13x minus 30. All right, we're looking for two numbers that multiply to be what? Not yet. You forgot to multiply. 3 times negative 30 is negative 90. They have to multiply to negative 90. And the same two numbers have to add to be what? Negative 13. Now you have to multiply this one times this one. All right, so you're like, what multiplies to negative 90? So you're like 1 times 90, 2 times 45, 3 times 30. Does 4 go in? I don't think so. 5 times what? Ooh, 5 times 18. Ooh, 6 goes in. Let's see, 1 to 90 minus the 6 would be 30. 6 is going to 35 times. All right, you could probably keep going. I don't know, but we found it, right? Because, oh, I think we found it. Let me make sure. Sorry, why did this come up? Go away. Okay, so this one, oh, geez. All kinds of things popping up on me. Did I click on something? Okay, so 5 and 18, how can I make those add to negative 13? Vishnu? Yes. Okay. Negative 18 plus 5 adds to negative 13. Okay. And then a positive times a negative is a negative. All right. So I'm going to rewrite this 3x squared. And instead of the middle term, we replace it with plus 5x minus 18x. And then I write the minus 30 down again. All right. The order does not matter. Okay. We'll get the same thing if you put the minus 18 and the plus 5. All right. So now I'm going to factor tractor. What comes out of the first two terms, you guys? X. And if I take an x out from here, what is left? 3x. And if I take an x out from here, what is left? Okay. Is the third term negative? Yes, it is negative 18. So I want to take a negative out. What's the biggest number that goes into 18 and 30? 6. So take out a negative 6. If I divide this by negative 6, what do I get? 3x. If I divide this by negative 6, what do I get? Plus 5. I took the negative out of both, right? So they both turn to positive. Again, those parentheses should matchy-match, and I get x minus 6 times 3x plus 5. So what was factored out, put first, and then what you have 2 of, put second. Now, if I FOILed that back out, I would get the beginning answer. If I multiplied it out, I don't want to like show you, but if I multiplied it all out because it takes too long, I would get that. All right, last one. So first of all, it's out of order. So I need to rewrite it in order. Second of all, I have a problemo with the negative sign. Okay. Anytime there's a negative in front, you have to factor it out like it's a GCF. Okay. So if there was a common number, like a 2, we could take out, or say there was another A in there, we could take that out. All right. If there's a negative sign, you actually pull it out of every single term, which changes all the signs, right? So now I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to be what? And honestly, we just ignore this negative till the end and just write it in front, okay? So multiply to be what? Good. Multiplies to negative 20, adds to what? Positive 8. What multiplies to 20 and adds to 8, you guys? Okay, I would probably say, yeah, negative 2, positive 10 has to add to positive 8. So now I'm going to rewrite this, and the negative sign is just staying in front with the parentheses. So I have 4a squared. Okay, we'll replace this with plus 10a minus 2a, and then rewrite the negative 5. All right, you guys, what's the GCF of the first two terms? 2a. Okay, if I take out a 2a from here, what's left? Yep, 2a plus 5. And what am I going to take out of the, oh yeah, so this is a good one to do. What's the GCF of negative 2a minus 5? Negative 1. So if there's nothing that divides out, pull out a 1, and since the third term is negative, pull out a negative 1. That would change it to 2a plus 5, which is what we want, because we took negative out. So I end up with 2a minus 1 times 2a plus 5. And then this negative sign is just stays in front like a GCF, okay? All right, let's try some whiteboards.